Welcome guys to Barca Buzz. What a match we saw last night. FC Barcelona versus Monaco. Another Champions League game and another loss. Whew. Why does it seem like Barcelona have some sort of curse in the Champions League? But before we get into it, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and let's get into it. So, we get a red card. Are we not used to this? Yes, it happened last season against PSG, and it happens again against Monaco. And where is this? In France. I'm not sure if Barcelona players actually learn, but in the UEFA Champions League, the little things actually count. The players have barely actually put together a few passes together, and in the 10th minute of the game, we get a red card. How do we come back from that? Because this actually throws the entire game plan out of the window. Barcelona players should actually learn from their mistakes, that this shouldn't happen at the highest level. With all the excitement that we had around the Champions League, with the form that we had coming into this game, 17 goals scored, 4 goals conceded, we had the excitement that we are actually going to do something in the Champions League. We are going to go to France, face Monaco, and blow them away. We had that much confidence in this team. Because the only change that actually happened was that Eric Garcia actually came in for Dani Olmo. I initially thought that he was actually going to go with Ferran Torres, but I think the thought was to ensure that we have extra protection in there for defense in case we have to face Monaco transitions. So Eric Garcia was put in there to actually play as a pivot and actually protect that defense. But what happens? In the 10th minute, we get a red card. What a way to start a match. With Barcelona, expect the unexpected. And I did mention that Monaco are actually going to capitalize on our mistakes. And what was our mistake? By Marc Andre Ter Stegen. Instead of throwing that ball up the field, he picks to pass the ball to Eric Garcia while he's being pressed by Minamino. And what happens? A direct red card for Eric Garcia. This is back-to-back games now that Marc Andre Ter Stegen is making a mistake that actually cost the team. Against Girona, it cost us a clean sheet. Now, against Monaco, we actually lost the game because of this mistake. The whole game plan went out of the window when we then went down to 10 men. This was actually in the 10th minute. In the 10th minute, we're still trying to figure out how to do things on the pitch. And now we get a red card. There's no coming back from it because we're not even playing at home. We are playing away. We're in France. And I'm not sure if Barcelona players actually learn, but they do not actually learn from their mistakes. Now, ultimately, with this mistake, Eric Garcia is not to blame for this. My blame actually goes to Marc Andre Ter Stegen. He can already see that it's already 2 against 2 in the box, but he still decides to give the ball to a player who is already in trouble. And with Hansi Flick's words was, we need to make sure we don't make the same mistakes. And he was talking about this, which was, we always try to pass the ball to a player who is already in trouble. And I'm sure he was speaking about Ter Stegen because repeatedly, he tried doing this and we were mostly caught at times. And some of the players today, we saw that some of the passes were misplaced and Monaco were actually pouncing on these mistakes. And this is something I mentioned, was that Monaco are actually going to look for our mistakes. And I think 11 versus 11, this game was actually not going to turn out the way it turned out. Because now, remember, that the players are now putting double effort for the missing player on the pitch. Against 11 and you are 10, it's actually a difficult match. Don't get me wrong, guys. Marc Andre Ter Stegen is a world-class goalkeeper. But he has been making mistake after mistake, and his performances have not really been up to par ever since he got that injury. And I think Barcelona need to start looking at the future. They need to start looking for a replacement that's actually going to replace Marc Andre Ter Stegen. If they do not believe that much in Iñaki Peña, they need to get someone that's actually going to replace him. Because he hasn't been the same ever since that injury. He's not the same Marc Andre Ter Stegen when he first blew up in Barcelona, when he was still competing with Claudio Bravo, when we went for the Champions League trophy. Even when he became number one, he was actually Marc Andre Ter Stegen at Manuel Neuer level. So right now, we don't know what's happening with Marc Andre Ter Stegen. We expect better from him because he's our captain. And this is not what we really expect from our captain. We expect better performances. He should be the one that's actually limiting the damage to Barcelona. But in this game, he was actually the problem. Because there were some crosses that were put in the box, some of the corners that came in, he was flapping at some of them. He didn't really get good punches on some of them. And that shows you that he's not really at his best level at the moment. And I think he needs to get our support, but also at the same time, he needs to look at his mistakes and see that these mistakes are actually costing the team. But the positive is Lamine Yamal. You just run out of superlatives to actually describe this player because he is actually carrying Barcelona. When things were going tough for Barcelona, he actually stood up and actually got us a goal to actually level matters against Monaco. This youngster is actually doing amazing things, and he is actually carrying Barcelona. And in the words of Hansi Flick, he said that to be the best, he doesn't really need to rest. He needs to actually be playing in each and every game. So we must just forget about seeing Lamine Yamal getting some rest time or getting some time out on the bench, because the coach ultimately believes that this player is going to be a world beater. And we can see it with his ability. I mean, there was an open pass in that goal for Robert Lewandowski, but because now he has belief in himself, he trusts himself. Ever since the Euros, he has been quite a different player. He has evolved into such a mature player that even the team itself trusts that once we give the ball to Lamine Yamal, something is going to happen. It was vintage Lamine Yamal where he just cuts inside and he just looks at the keeper and just puts it at the near post. The keeper had no chance. He thought he was possibly going to bend it to the far post, but no, he actually tricked him and went to the near post. This is signs and traits of a very good player in the making. He's still young. He's still got a lot of time ahead of him. At 17 years old, we can only hope that Lamine Yamal will actually bring the Ballon d'Or to Barcelona. Overall, looking at the performance of the team, you could see that they tried. We looked like we were still playing with 11 players, in as much as it was 11 against 10. Barcelona created a few chances, but the stats do show that we were not the normal Barcelona, because now we were expending a lot more energy covering for the gap that we already have because of that red card. Monaco had a lot of chances. They kept on catching us, and they started building and playing with real freedom, because now we cannot really entirely press on them, because once we do that, we open gaps, and then now we actually short at the back. So I think Barcelona, in as much as they had the red card, they played well. They did what they could. They used the energy that they needed to use. And Hansi Flick didn't make a substitution until very late in the match, which actually shows you how fit this team is. Because I think in the previous era, we could have been seeing that Barcelona would have run out of legs and Monaco would have run riot at that particular stage. So I'm really happy to see that people like Pedri, people like Garcia were able to stay on the pitch for so long and still give the best when they had the ball. because this Monaco side were actually very aggressive on the ball. They actually pushed. They pressed. Takumi Minamino in the middle of the park, he played very well. And they actually also brought in Golovin, who is actually very technically gifted. And he actually also was able to conjure up some good chances for Monaco. So I think we were good in as much as it was 11 against 10. And I'm happy with the fact that we played well. If this match was 11 against 11, I am very sure to say that Barcelona would have left France with a victory against Monaco. That is just my thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comment box, in the comment section. How do you think this match would have turned out if it was 11 against 11? So coming on to Hansi Flick, it was actually good to see that he still had a smile to crack when he went on to the press conference after the game. He still showed up happy, and he was actually proud of the players because of the energy that they actually put into this game. So he did acknowledge that the red card did completely change everything, but he does acknowledge the fact that the team did try. He did single out people like Garcia. He singled out people like Lamine Yamal, like Rafinha and Casado for the energy that they put out all on the field. And he did see it as a big mistake that we got the red card. So I think this is something they will need to focus on the training field. When they want to build from the back, they must make sure that when there is no pass, please just hoof it over up the field. Because when you can't find a player, you're just putting yourself in trouble. Imagine if this was against the most elite teams, Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. We would have suffered maybe even a bigger scoreline, because those teams have got better players, better quality, and they would have finished off some of the chances that Monaco had gotten. So this is something to reflect for Hansi Flick. And he did say, he spoke to the players that they need to come back stronger after this. There's a game against Villarreal, and this match is now the past. So now they need to move on to focus to Villarreal on Sunday. And this is really nice to see that he's not entirely angry about the result, but he's actually looking forward to the next game to see the reaction of the team. And I'm already thinking that on Sunday's game, we will see a different Barcelona. And I think we will see that Barcelona will actually get a victory again against Villarreal. So guys, what your thoughts were about this match. We got a red card. It was another mistake. But do you think Barcelona have a chance of qualifying, going straight to the last 16? Please let me know in the comment section what you think is going to happen in future games, because the next match is against Young Boys. So just let me know what you think and how we're going to perform in the upcoming games. We have now broken that streak of unbeaten matches, and now we go in without that pressure. So let me know, guys, what you think. Thank you for watching, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And until the next video, Visca Barça.